Well, look, I have a small man crush on Marcus Howard. He's undersized, and that is obviously the major thing. I think he measured at the combine at 5'11", and that's tough. Let's just be honest. 5'11" is very, very tough to succeed in the NBA. But you're talking about the best scorer in this draft, in my opinion, right? I mean, he is a prolific scorer. He's an excellent athlete. He's got unlimited range on his jump shot, and he's fearless with that. He's not a point guard, right? And so, he really is the scorer's mentality is his game. And, you wonder on the defensive end, who he's going to be able to, defend. And that, of course, is, a bit of a concern. But to me, there's upside as a guy who comes off the bench. He reminds me a little bit of an Isaiah Thomas type of prospect who slid all the way to 60 in the draft before going on and having a really good NBA career before, injuries, took him out. And to me, it wouldn't shock me to see him carve out a role like that, because you're talking about a production level at college that few, if any, college players ever really get to.
Yeah, insane numbers. He's the Big East scoring king. And, Chad, we know who's come through that league through the 40-year history of the conference. I know it's college basketball. I know it's totally different from the NBA, but let's face it. The league's pedigree, Mullen, Ewing, Walter Berry, we could go on and on of great players through the years of the league. I don't care what you're playing in. Those numbers speak for themselves, and the production rate was unbelievable. How much Marquette, from a college perspective, I'm curious to see what Marquette looks like this upcoming season, because Marcus Howard was Marquette.
Right, and this is the thing too, because he was Marquette. That means that every team that played Marquette, their entire defensive game plan was around stopping Marcus Howard, and they didn't for the most part. Right. And that's telling to me, right? Because, some of these players that are on Duke or Kentucky or Kansas or whatever, they're playing with multiple NBA players, right? You can't go in from a defensive standpoint and just gear in on one player and know that if you take him away, you've won the game, right? And so that takes some pressure off them. I mean, what's Marcus Howard going to look like in the NBA when teams aren't going to be game planning for him at all? Right, when he comes into the and so I'm one. A lot of teams are skeptical, and again, like I said, the 5'11", is it possible that he isn't drafted? Yeah, I think it's possible. I personally think it's a mistake. I think that once you get into the 40s, there's no one with any more upside, or no one that I could point to in this draft that I'd say, well, I know that guy's going to be better. I don't know that, and actually, to me, Howard is the guy that it's hard to say, how can't some of that translate? I mean, if he's going to pull up 5-6 feet from beyond the 3-point line and let that fly, that's a problem for defenses, even if he's 5'11".